slips up on occasion, yes.
About the skeleton, how do you know if it's a male or female? Is it somewhere in the lower part?
This is a male skeleton, and there's very, you know that the famous, you know, if you were at a cocktail party, drinking vodka giblets and things like that, and everyone, you know, this would be a Pirates of the Caribbean thing, everyone's a skeleton at the cocktail party. And you were chatting up someone that was really kind of good looking. There's a good possibility you wouldn't know for sure if it was a male or female skeleton. Okay. The differences are very subtle. Of course, there's a biblical phrase that we're one less rib, but that's untrue. The rib cage, the width of the rib cage, and the width of the pelvis is where you will maybe tell the difference. Secondarily to the angle of the pelvis is slightly different on male to female. And the difference is about the width of one eye. Okay? Your eye, which is really a ball, it could fit in the socket, where it's right there. The eye itself fits in that orbital bone, that socket right there. And so that distance across from here to here, which is part of the major measuring system of the body, which we'll get to in a little bit, is one eye wider on, you know, divide that in half and it's wider on each side. Normally the rib cage, this is a male skeleton because the ribs, the width of the ribs and the width of the pelvis are about equal. They're slightly wider on a female, and that's really the only difference for the most part.
What about lower jaw?
What's that?
Wouldn't the lower jaw be a little more pronounced on the men?
You know,
But not
we
100%.
vary so much, not necessarily. And the famous thing of the Adam's apple, women have Adam's apples. You know, it's just not as prominent. You know, that of course that little membrane there is held together by a tiny little muscle, and it's really just a support system. This little bone here is a support system for your larynx and your throat. Because all of this big tube that comes down here is very, very strong and solid. It's got cartilage, little ringlets of cartilage all the way down it to hold it in place. Because if it didn't have that, it would be too easy to collapse. You know, we need the sturdiness of that. But even women have the telltale Adam's apple. It just depends on, well, the amount of fat content in the body. And once again, it's just, it has to do with our, as I said, proportions, which vary drastically from person to person. Within families, we drastically change proportions a lot. Some people just have shorter arms, you know, longer legs or something like that. Radius of the humerus bone connects the scapula, the glenoid cavity, clavicle. Clavicle, scapula, humerus bone, radius and ulna, carpal bones, phalanges, metacarpals, all of them on the test. Okay. We'll go over that. I'll even Xerox you a sheet. I don't know if I'll give it to you this week, it's not necessary. But all kinds of things that I'm going to give you, as well as you're going to need a book, or a couple of books on anatomy. Library has a bunch, bookstores have them, Houston Public Library has them. I have pretty close to everything on anatomy. This one was my textbook when I was a student. First drawing class, first year of school, Anatomy for the Artist by Barcet. One of the more lovely drawings of the form. Not all books are equal. Not all books on anatomy are even correct, by the way. It is a study that I wouldn't say it's ongoing because the design hasn't changed. Okay, this system hasn't changed in at least 5,000 to 6,000 years, and I haven't been given any information on any upgrades. You know, I don't. Some of the drawings are a little on the small side in this book, unfortunately. And I've seen this at Barnes and Noble for $8, $9. I paid $35, $40 way back in the dawn of time. Has my old New York address on it, even inside. But beautiful, beautiful. That's the one of these I think is the drawing on the cover. Scheider book is lovely. It's been around a long time too with me. And it's got some marvelous little drawings of the legs and the forms and the shapes. And you can tell, I use this phrase all the time, when you get a book on anatomy, well, you're getting Mr. Scheider's opinion of what he saw. Okay? Mr. Barsay's opinion, Miss whomever, or Mr. whomever. They're always opinions. And of course, we're going to do drawings in this class. We're going to do the study of anatomy and all of these things that you've seen in the display case. And that will be, you know, your study of that. How do you find it? And of course, you're going to be limited a little bit to the books, to what you find. The internet has things out there, but most of it sucks. I'll let you know. Difficult to work. I can't work from a screen myself. But there's information like that out there. Lots of information, and it's a bit of a self-study. You're gonna, you know, I'm gonna give you a syllabus in a little bit, sitting on my desk up there. I just didn't stick it in my bag and bring it down here. And I've got a huge list of books on it, and not a one book is the book to get. Okay, take a look around. What works? What do you see? What's nice? Okay, there's so many books on anatomy. But that's this person's opinion. This book is nice because there's several different, a lot of artists throughout the ages, I don't know if they were asked to contribute to the book, but were put assembled in here, and some of them are very old drawings, and some are relatively newer drawings, and nothing in this book is new because it's been around for a long time. I don't remember, I have no idea when the copyright was. I guess I did here. 1947. But anatomy hasn't changed. Okay? As I said, I have no idea. There's a Bridgman book on drawing, which I think is nice, but who knows? The Bridgman book on anatomy is lovely, but Bridgman was doing his stuff in the turn of the last century, not this one. No, we've gone to a new age era, you know, so we can't just say turn of the century. That could mean 1999, but in the year 1900, Bridgman was doing some of his drawing stuff. And the book his book looks like Xeroxes of Xeroxes of Xeroxes that ended up then making it into a book. So what the original drawings look like, who knows? We're at the mercy of what we find in terms of reference. Some of the drawings that I brought in with me, oh, I'm going to need something upstairs too for that. These are some studies that I did. Let's have an easel. Of course, I found myself telling you people, got to draw this, got to draw that, and I thought, you know, I ought to draw a few of these things. And just to see if I can do it. Of course, I did it all back in the dawn of time. And, you know, the only problem with that is in my age, the dawn of time, we had to do them originally on stone tablets, and so. First assignment. The only difference between what I did and what you're going to do is you're going to give me call-outs there and tell me that these are the phalanges and these